So welcome everyone. Today's presentation is a bit of a snapshot of our corporate presentation, so you'll find that on the website, plus you'll find a few copies outside and a few giveaways and also at the Mining Club booth. So Novo Resources, out of all the people you hear from today, we're very different. We're at the front end of exploration. I can't even call our projects advanced, but are we excited about them? You better believe it. So as you'll hear, we've got a huge landmass. We work across 10 different traditional owner groups within our tenement, and we recognise their unique culture, heritage, beliefs and connections to land, waters and communities. So here's Novo. We are unique. We're a gold company that has over 10,000 square kilometres of tenement portfolio. To put that in an Asian perspective, that means we've got a tenement land mass that's 2 times the size of Bali. So that's our exploration portfolio. And on top of that, we have a small tenement holding in Victoria, just south of the Fosterville mine. We're Perth-based, but we are TSX listed, so we're not on the ASX. So for the people in this room, very easy to invest, given we're North American focused, and we also have an OTC portion. So as I said here, we're really focused on large discoveries, 1 million ounce type discoveries within the Pilbara. We've got a very good exploration team, globally experienced, and they're leading the charge for us. Our key project, which I'm always going to talk about many times today, is Becher, and that's within our exploration area that we call the Egina Gold Camp. It's our most advanced project, but even advanced means it's on the early stages on its exploration journey. It does have the potential to be a major discovery. We've got a lot of work to do, but excitingly, and we'll talk about this, it's only 28 kilometres away from the large Malina project by De Grey, and they have over 10 million ounces. So we're very much in the right neighbourhood. So this is us, the green, 10,000 square kilometres. Our land package extends from Karratha to Newman, or another way, it takes an hour and a half on a King Air to travel across our tenements. Our tenements are surrounded by major gold discoveries. The Malina project that I've talked about, and I'll talk further, the Warriner Calidus project, Mount York with Coras Resources, Carlo Castle is a copper gold project with Artemis, and Andover, which is nickel and lithium. So we have a large exploration base. Right in the middle is the Egina Gold Camp, and that's where our key focus is. But on the eastern side of our tenements, we're busy drilling at Bellery Dome, which I'll talk about, but we also have over 700 square kilometres of tenements in the Mosquito Creek Basin. So a big package. We are gold focused, and we have recently started a divestment process or JV process for our West Pilbara, copper, nickel and cobalt tenements. And on the east, we have already divested or JV'd our lithium projects late last year to Litam. We want to focus clearly on being a gold explorer and discoverer. We believe our investors and investors in the market like to see pure gold plays rather than get confused with base metals and battery metals. So here's our core project or core area, the Egina Gold Camp. It's huge. We have a tenement package that covers continuously 80 kilometres long from Becher in the top to Nunnery North in the bottom. So huge package, and all the yellow dots refer to targets for us to follow up on. So up the top, Becher, we own 100% of Becher, so all the successes will come back to our shareholder. And as I said, it's our most advanced project. And at the bottom, Nunnery, which I'll talk about in a minute, we own 70% and the Creasy Group owns 30%. And as you'll see, it is a very exciting project that is very much untested. So here's a close-up of Becher. The yellow area represents 20 square kilometres of prospective ground. As I said, it's 28 kilometres from the Hemi project, which itself has a 6 million ounce reserve by De Grey, and the Malina project as a whole has 10 million ounces. And it's a credit to the De Grey team in the discovery of Hemi and the way that they've grown that resource. We're seeing exactly the same geology, the structures and intrusions that people have seen at Hemi, and whilst it's early days, we're excited with that prospect. So that yellow is a very large landmass. It takes a long time to explore 20 square kilometres, but already, as you can see with the red dots, we're delineating 5 key targets within that project. As you can see in the picture, the major east-north-east trending structures continue all the way from Hemi all the way into our area, and those 5 projects are related close to those structures. So here's a close-up. In September last year, we started drilling Becher. Between start of September and just before Christmas, we completed 32,000 metres of air core, over 1,400 holes. We're blessed with very shallow cover, 10 to 20 metres, which is absolutely fantastic when you're trying to do very large areas. The best result, 8 metres at 2.15. You might sit there and look at those grades. They don't sound exciting, but when you're drilling an area of 20 square kilometres and you're trying to hone in on the next area of drilling, those results give us great encouragement. The other thing to notice is each of those drill lines are 640 metres apart. This is a large-scale project that we've started, and when we come in follow-up, we'll actually bring them into 320. You can hide a lot of ounces between 640 metre drill lines. We've recently, and you'll see our announcements on our website, we've recently received all of the bottom hole geochemistry, and shown in the pink dots, maroon dots, is the areas that align up to the sanucatoids or the intrusions that really match what you see at Hemi. So we're excited by this initial phase of drilling. We're excited by what we see with the intrusions, and we've got a lot of targets to follow up, and we're heading that direction. So we're very shortly going to start an infill program for the rest of this quarter, quarter 2, and that'll be focused on air core drilling, and we will drill some deeper holes to test some geology. We're not in that point yet to go looking for a discovery, but we're definitely in that area where we need to prove the concepts that we're looking, close the spacings from 640 up to 320, and really hone in for the second half of the year. So this is a long-term project that will see continuation of news flow all the way through. So I want to talk about Nunnery, and as you remember on that picture, Nunnery North is down the bottom of that 80 kilometre strike length. So Nunnery is exciting. As we said up the front, it's untested, but our work to date has shown that we have over 1.4 kilometre of strike length of soils that are leading over 300 ppb. We also have picked up another trend of 1.2 kilometres of soil anomalies with over 30 ppbm. And as you can see in the results, the soil samples and the rock chip samples are absolutely exciting. So even at this early stage, the team are able to generate a great picture that you've seen here that really allows us to hone in on drilling that we'll do in the second half of this year. We just need to clear traditional owner approval, and we'll be drilling this project straight up in the second part of the year. So again, very early stage project. No one's ever drilled here. We've built the geological model, and our team are ready to go drilling in the second part of this year. So Becher Dome, we've been trying to get into this project for many years, but finally we're there. We started drilling about 2 weeks ago. You'll see news flow come out of this project. Becher Dome is the southern part of our tenement base. For those that know the Pilbara, it's near the town of Parapadu, so we have access to good roads and power and all of those good things. The key prospect in the Becher Dome that we're chasing is Cardia. It's our primary target. It's been built up from work done in 2021, focusing on rock chips. And as you can see here, some really good results through that rock chips, 556 ppm and 116 ppm. So this has really allowed us to hone in on Cardia, and we've got this drilling program underway. So all up, the program we started 2 weeks ago, there's about 3,000 metres of reserve of RC drilling that we'll do, and then based on those results, we'll do a step out along strike for another 700 metres. So as you can already see, for Novo, for us going back to reconnaissance across our 10,000 square kilometres, we've built up a huge number of high priority projects, and we're in there executing the work to follow them up. We can't forget Victoria. We actually do like our small 22 square kilometre tenement base there, so it doesn't kind of match with the Pilbara, but we like the geology. It's complex. People that know Victoria know that it has spun out some unbelievable projects, Costerfield and Fosterville. So that's why we like this area. It's had a historical mining base in the past, but we're back there looking. We originally started this with a joint venture with GBM and Kalamazoo, but we recently announced that we've purchased both of those 50% owners, and we're in the middle of doing the final completion of the transaction. So it's a great area to be. If you're in Victoria, and Mr. Hudson will talk in a minute, it's a great place to go exploring because the rewards are very high if you're in the right geological setting. So since we've been involved in the last 2 years, we've done a lot of baseline mapping, we've done a lot of drilling holes to build the geological picture. We've actually now completed a 3D model of all the historical workings. We've done geophysics. We've done all the preliminary stuff to allow us to start targeting drilling programs. So the first part of this year, we'll focus on continuing to build that picture, but in the second part of this year, we'll actually go drilling some deep holes looking for primary gold targets. So even though it's a small part of our portfolio, it's a portfolio that we're very happy to have. Don't expect you to read this, but essentially after all the work that we've done in the last 2 years, Novo can now sit here and say we've got a very defined drilling program for the rest of this year, focused on the high priorities. We've still got a lot of reconnaissance drilling across our tenement package or reconnaissance geology work, but we now have a very clear focused program for the rest of the year. We've got a great board led by geologists in Quentin Hemi. We've got finance people, ESG people, and legal-based people that are across the world. So we've got a very, very good board. Our geological team is led by Kaz DeLuca. Some people in the room would know Kaz, but Kaz has an international experience working for large companies focused on gold across 4 different continents. So we've got a very good exploration team that is leading the charge. So this is where we are. We've got about 30 million cash in the bank. We've got a portfolio, a very unusual investment portfolio of around about $20 million. So we're quite well positioned for the work that we want to do at the moment. And a reminder, we're TSX listed with an OTC framework as well. Very simple core shareholder base that remains very supportive. People were talking about Eric before, but Eric Sprott is a supporter within Novo, IMC. A lot of people in here would know IMC because they're Singapore-based. Litam is a lithium producer. People would know Mark Creasy, an Australian explorer, owns 5% of our register, and Agnico Eagle are there at 3%. So we have a good shareholder base, and we look forward to growing that shareholder base as we move forwards with our exploration success. ESG is important to us. We carry a board member with ESG experience. We see our future working with traditional owners and making gold happen cannot happen without ESG focus. So we've built our framework around the ICMM and we'll continue to build that platform. So finally, we are a gold explorer, predominantly based in Western Australia, but we have that area in Victoria. We're looking for the big ones, the million-ounce type discoveries. We've got an aggressive exploration program across that 10,000 square metre portfolio. Our success focus at the moment is on Becher. That's our key primary target, and that will consume most of our efforts this year, but in parallel to that, we'll do drilling at Becher, we'll do some more drilling in Victoria, we'll do some drilling at Nunnery. We've got drill rigs spinning already this year. They will bring a strong pipeline of news flow all the way through the rest of this year. As I said, ESG values are very important to us. We believe our industry has to be sustainable, and we're part of that journey. We've got a very credentialed board, very good experienced management team and exploration. So I think, as you've heard, we are a bit unique, very large land package, but we've got substantial projects that we're executing, and I believe we've got a great future. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Mike. Pretty much right on time, so we can take one question from the floor if anyone has a question.
You weren't going to ask a question, Damien. Couldn't help himself.
Mike, thank you for that. Just a couple of quick ones here. Cash burn, and what's the sort of timetable to resource reserve? What's the pathway there?
The later one is, who knows? We leave it to the exploration gods. The way I describe Becher is it's like an onion, and if exploration's about 10 layers of an onion, I reckon we're through layers 2 and 3 of Becher. The work that we do this quarter in closing the drill spacings, drilling some deeper holes to look at geology, will really dictate the quarter 3 drilling, which is, I think, will be the real focus on, let's use it, resource in brackets definition. So that's really, really important.